Donald Trump is poised to send American Buster bombers to eliminate Iran's top secret nuclear facility, Fordow, some 90 metres underground. The president is making a final call on whether to take this action. He's getting advice and pressure from those around him. His administration is divided, which is, in my view, a reflection on some poor appointments, including Tulsi Gabbard as the Director of National Intelligence. A leak in the Wall Street Journal today cast doubt on the Israeli intel that suggests a nuclear weapon isn't far off. And clearly, this leak came from one of those in the Trump administration who's opposed to America supporting Israel. And the propositions in the article were absurd. You trust Israeli intelligence over the word of ideological and tainted US intel agencies any day of the week. Mossad has shown what it knows, what it can do over and over and over again. Just think of the Hezbollah pages, to the operation in Iran, to Nasrallah being killed in his bunker, all based on accurate intelligence, often from deeply embedded undercover operatives. Plus, the International Atomic Energy Agency has ruled that Iran breached its nuclear obligations and is developing more uranium enrichment than it could possibly use for civilian purposes. But it's the Wall Street Journal leak itself that's most interesting. It shows the angry divide inside the Trump administration over whether the president should use the American weapons to penetrate Iranian mountains. It's being billed as one of the biggest decisions Trump has to make, whether to bomb Iran's top nuclear site.
To actually get at those sort of nuclear facilities which are buried deep in a mountain, Israel needs the help of America, needs those B-2 bombers and those bunker-busting bombs, several of them, I think. And so that's the decision that Donald Trump has to make. He's under a lot of pressure. He's getting, advice from every quarter.
And that Miranda Devine interview coming up later. But this shouldn't be such a big decision. There are no requests for American troops on the ground. There's no request for Americans to put their lives on the line. In fact, there's very little risk given Israel has already seized control of Iranian skies and destroyed some 40% of its missile launches. Oh, and killed all of its military chiefs, including the top war chief. Young Israelis, men and women, have done all the heavy lifting. It's simply the weaponry that Israel needs. This shouldn't be such a difficult decision for Trump because he could be the president that brings peace we've never known in our lifetimes to the Middle East. And the only way you get to peace is by eliminating the terror and nuclear threat. That means actually dealing with Iran, and not by engaging in yet more deals and negotiations that everyone knows the Ayatollahs won't keep. That's why the argument that anyone who wants to help Israel is a warmonger is so absurd. And in fact, the opposite is true. Iran is responsible for more terrorism around the world than any other nation. And this includes, of course, financing the massacre of innocent families on October 7, along with many terror attacks against the West and America over the years. It also, of course, is behind the terror groups Hamas and Hezbollah. And it will never give up its stated desire for the destruction of Israel. In the past few days, Ayatollah Khamenei posted a chilling clip to social media showing hundreds of missiles ready to fire at Israel, with the caption, "The Islamic Republic's armed forces will deal heavy blows to the evil Zionist enemy." Iran isn't hiding its intent to destroy Israel, America, and the West. It's boasting about it. There can be no peace while Iran remains a dangerous force. And allowing Iran to continue its enrichment program is the path to a dangerous and bleak future. Taking out its nuclear sites is the only path to peace in the region. And the step after that is expanding the Abraham Accords with Saudi Arabia and perhaps other Arab nations. Trump and Netanyahu had a call after the president's Situation Room meeting. They're in regular contact and they're on the same page when it comes to the future of the Middle East. So, to me, there's a lot of hand-wringing going on unnecessarily. But there are signs the United States is preparing to use its B-2 planes and bunker busters to take out the Fordow fuel enrichment plant, maybe other sites too. America is sending dozens of Air Force refueling jets and tankers into the region that are needed for the B-2 planes to operate. And the American embassy in Jerusalem will be closed for the next few days. And more importantly, there's also Trump's public comments. He's calling on Iran to surrender. He's still giving the mullahs one last chance. Yet Iran refuses to give up its nuclear program, even as its regime is being brought to its knees. It is crippled. And their only way out now, at this late stage, is with more diplomacy. The carrot of a trade deal in return for giving up their nuclear enrichment program. Now, if the West agreed to this, if Trump did, it would be a mistake. It would mean giving Iran likely billions of dollars, which they'll use to finance terror yet again. And ironically, the only hope for Iran now is if Trump steps in to save them. Now, the Wall Street Journal editorial today makes the point that this is also a matter of deterrence for the United States, with Beijing and Russia watching closely. It says if the US won't help one of its strongest and most loyal allies finish the job of eliminating Iran's nuclear threat in uncontested airspace, the message to China will be that there is no chance the US will defend Taiwan. But if Trump helps Israel enforce his own red lines against Iran's nuclear program, he can send a message that American deterrence means something again. And this is a powerful argument. So let's take a look at the weapon that's at the heart of this discussion. These are the B-2 stealth bombers, which can carry two 13,607 kilogram GBU-57 bunker buster bombs. And this is the only weapon capable of penetrating the mountains in Iran to reach the nuclear facilities of Fordow underneath Mount Alvant, which is south of Tehran. And this is how these weapons looked during a test drill in 2017. Well, now the American media is reporting that it's a 30-hour round trip from the Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, where these weapons are housed. And reporters are stationed outside to be the first to know if there's movement.
We've been out here waiting, seeing if it's going to take off, but this is a very special plane. It is a stealth bomber, and as you pointed out, it can carry a bunker buster bomb.
But given there's media there, this would give Tehran at least 15 hours advance warning, which isn't ideal and could even be highly problematic. Well, I asked my sources about this today, and they told me that there are actually already B-2 bombers in the region, far closer than America. So perhaps those reporters will be waiting there a long time. Now, there's no logical case against America using these weapons on Iran's nuclear sites that it refuses to dismantle. The reason for the indecision simply comes down to Trump's own power base, the isolationists in the MAGA movement who claim that America first means not being involved in any foreign wars. Well, Donald Trump's former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, obliterated this argument on Fox News today, where she's now a host.
How is Bannon and the folks that you mentioned and the people advocating for just sitting back and taking it easy, how are they any different than Biden's foreign policy? Biden's foreign policy was, I say don't, and Putin does. I say don't, and the Taliban takes over Afghanistan. I say don't, and 2 global wars start on my watch. That is the Biden foreign policy. That is by no definition America first. Iran has had 5 decades, almost half a century to talk. And what they've done instead, kill 609 American troops in Iraq. What they've done is put an assassination plot on President Trump's head. What they've done is take American hostages and wreak havoc on the world. America first is not sitting in a beach chair and using words. It's taking decisive action when we can take out Fordow with one swoop of an airplane.
She's excellent, and that's perfectly articulated. And it seems the international community now agrees with her. Well, aside, that is, from our pathetic anti-Israel Albanese government. But otherwise, there are no public objections to taking out the nuclear facility from international leaders. None at all. In fact, the German Chancellor publicly acknowledged that Israel is doing what he described as the international community's dirty work, as Iran is the source of so many terror attacks. Well, Trump should be encouraged to take this action to create a safer future. It would be a legacy-defining moment for his presidency while providing something no other president has ever been able to, something that still plagues Bill Clinton to this day, creating a pathway for peace in the Middle East. This is a test of Trump's character and courage. The young Israelis who put their lives on the line don't hesitate, and neither should he. Trump should claim his role in history as the president who stood with Israel to obliterate Iran's nuclear program. He should do his part to bravely defend the West and return America to its rightful position as leader of the free world. This is his moment, and he should seize it.